Hey everybody, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to do a review of the Aire Cub. That's the boat I'm sitting on right now. This is my personal boat, so I can kind of tell you a few things about it. To start off with, the Cub is 10'7" long and 5'2" wide, so it's a pretty fun little play boat. It's a little bit, about a foot smaller than the Puma, and I don't know how wide it is compared to the Puma, but it's kind of smaller than the Puma itself. Although it's a bit more rounded than the Puma, as you can kind of tell from the front there. The Puma would be a bit more pointed on the front. The side tubes are 18 inches in diameter, which is, you know, it's a pretty good size. Some people might think it's a little small, some people think it might be a little big. Personally, I think it works really well for this boat, although I would be interested to try maybe a 19 or a 20 inch side tube, you know, just to feel the difference there. The material it's made out of is a PVC material over the top, and then a urethane inner bladder on the sides here, and then on the bottom it's PVC and then a different material on the inside. I don't know what the material is itself, but it's a little bit rougher on the bottom, just, you know, to help with sand and grit get between the floor and the inner tube itself, and we'll get into that in just a bit. Some of my favorite things about this boat include the overall dimensions of this boat. I think this is a very fun boat, and it's not a very big boat either. I mean, I don't trailer it around at all. I just roll it up and throw it in the back of my truck, and it's easy to carry around. But besides that, this boat feels very sporty out on the river. You can eddy hop with it all day long, and you can surf with it all day long too if you're pretty good at surfing. I'm not very good at surfing, although I have had a few accidental sticks there, so, you know, I'll count those. Another great thing I like about this boat is actually the floor of the boat. If you're not too familiar with how Aire makes their floors, they actually make it so water can come between the outer PVC material and the inner air cell, so it kind of weighs the boat down a little bit. In the bigger boats, excuse me, you actually feel that a lot more, especially when you're hauling them kind of over shores or back up onto a trailer. You definitely feel the weight of that boat. In this Cub boat, you don't feel it too much, and in my opinion, it actually helps stabilizes that boat on the water. I R1 this boat a lot, so I'm putting a lot of weight on one side of the boat, you know, having a 250-pound person on one side of the boat with nothing else on the other side of the boat. It makes it feel a little bit tippy, but this boat is stayed stable with me through thick and thin. I have flipped it a few times, which, you know, I've been more than happy to do it. Definitely pit my skills against the river, so definitely some learning stuff in there, but overall I think it's a very stable boat. Another good thing I like about the boat is how the floor actually attaches to the side. It's actually stitched into the boat, and if you receive the boat, you actually stitch it in yourself, although you can pay another about $100 and have Aire stitched in the boat for you. But if you can stitch it in there, and if you travel internationally, you can actually take the whole boat apart. You can take the thwarts out, the floor out, you take the whole thing out and actually, you know, pack them separately, which is nice because the Cub itself weighs about 61 pounds, so that's a little bit over that 50-pound benchmark for, you know, carry-ons to planes or international flights. So, you know, you can take it apart, divide it between people, and actually carry the boat on, which is pretty cool. Another great thing about this boat is how Aire puts their thwarts into the boat. They put them in there with cam straps, so you can actually customize the boat a little bit to how you want to paddle it. Personally, I have these two thwarts spaced so I can really lock myself into the boat. I jam one foot under the front thwart and kick the other one back behind the other boat, kind of like how I'm doing there a little bit. And it really locks me into that boat, and I can feel myself really grabbing into that boat. If you're a little bit smaller, I'm a big guy, I'm about 6'6". But if you're a little bit smaller, you can bring those thwarts closer in. Or if you have paddlers of different heights, you can really, you know, customize those thwarts to make sure you're both getting pretty locked into the boat itself. So that's awesome. Another great thing, especially with the price point of this boat, because this boat is up in there in that $3,000 mark, but Aire puts a 10-year warranty on this boat, so you definitely get your money's worth out of this boat, which I think is awesome. So let's go into some stuff I don't like about the boat. And for starters, I don't like the lack of handles on this boat. There's not a single handle along the outside of this boat when you get it, and, you know, I really don't like that. I like having somewhere I can actually securely grab onto the boat. And until you put a line on this boat, there is really nowhere you can grab onto the boat comfortably. I have lifted it off its D-rings before, and that kind of hurts your fingers. You know, I can't imagine carrying a boat like this on its D-rings for, you know, a mile or even half a mile. It just hurts my fingers too much. Another thing I dislike about this boat is the lack of D-rings on the inside of this boat. I've actually taken the liberty on this one itself to put D-rings on the inside of the boat, and I know you could probably custom order a Cub from Aire that has internal D-rings, you know, heat welded into the boat already. But if you just get a stock boat, the lack of D-rings on the inside of the boat is a little troublesome to me and worrisome to me, because, you know, I like carrying gear with me. I like hooking water bottles in there, you know, first aid kits, repair kits, and you should know by now I like carrying my camera stuff around too. So I like having somewhere secure I can hook that stuff in the boat and not really worried about it flying out of the boat or going too far away from the boat if the boat happens to flip over. So D-rings in the inside of the boat is this is kind of something I don't like straight from the factory. So you might take your time and put your D-rings in yourself. Another thing I don't like about this boat is where the valves are put. If you look at the boat, it looks kind of symmetrical, but the valves are actually put on opposite corners of the boat, which makes pumping it up a little troublesome because you have to run around the boat a lot. So that's kind of a downside to it. I've sort of mentioned the on-river performance of this boat before. It's a very sporty boat on the river. That means, you know, eddy hopping, surfing galore, all sorts of stuff. And if you're not careful, you could actually flip this boat over kind of easy. I mean, it's a small boat. They flip a lot easier than those big boats do. But, you know, once you get used to the boat, it's a very fun boat to use, and I've thoroughly enjoyed using it myself. So my overall reaction about this boat is I absolutely love this boat. You know, I've been accused out there on the river, going through a rapid and just yelling at the top of my lungs, I love this boat. So, awesome boat. I'm happy Aire came out with it. If you guys ever get a chance to jump into a Cub and try it out, if you ever find me out there on the river and you want to say, hey, I want to try your boat out, you know, feel free to give a holler and, you know, hop in my boat, try it out a little bit if you want. But other than that, the price point on there can be, you know, a little expensive. But with a 10-year warranty on it, you definitely get your money's worth out of it. So, awesome boat. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked it, you know, leave a comment, subscribe. I hope this answered some questions you might have about the Aire Cub. If you're looking at a new boat, a little sporty boat here, hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.